This week we have Joel from Anvil Industries to talk about Afterlife, Shards of Liberty, which is the new Kickstarter and the new rule set for the Afterlife game. The rule sets are now just about to come out. We also are going to be talking about a ton of other stuff, including airbrushing, which is a big new thing that we're going to be doing a lot of on Beasts of War. Before we start the show, though, remember we're doing our 55K Facebook challenge. So why not take a moment to go over to our Facebook page, click like, and when we reach 55,000 subscribers, which is not too far away, you might be in with a chance, along with 54,999 other people, of winning 2 Infinity Armies. Not 1, Justin, but 2.
It's still better odds than Lotto.
It is. It is. 2 full 300-point armies, just like the ones that we used during Infinity Week over here on Beasts of War. All that's left to be said is, let's get on with the show. Good morning. Welcome to the Weekender. Hello, fellas.
Hello.
Good morning, Warren. I haven't been here for a couple of weeks.
No, Justin has been off. Well, you haven't been off. You've been working hard behind the scenes.
Yes, I've been sitting chained to my desk, which is always fun.
Yeah, he's been working hard, but not particularly effectively, as some people did notice.
I did goof.
As some people did notice in one of our Infinity Week videos, where it decided to start with Killian going, "Oh, mama, I will make a perfect Infinity video. Oh, mama, and Carlos is going, calm down, Killian. It's okay, you'll get there. Okay, I'm ready to start. What's this called again? So, yeah.
I goofed. It does happen the odd times, and I am sorry when it does happen, because no one will beat me up more over making mess-ups like that than myself.
That's not quite
You will
true.
attempt it.
I will attempt it. But Lloyd will beat you up more than yourself.
Fair point.
I may take part of the blame as well, because when Justin's not been at his table working, he's been at my house learning bolt action and various other things. He's been going through the Tactical Mastery School, according to John.
Well, we're bigging you up, aren't we here, John? How's that head sitting on those shoulders?
Well, do you know what? We're about to find out about the Tactical Mastery, because in XLBS tomorrow morning, I believe it's on my running order that we're going to talk about a bolt action game that you guys had.
Yeah.
So we will find out about this Tactical Mastery. Anyway, regarding Infinity Week, it's been ongoing. It's been a fabulous week. We're learning all sorts of stuff about 3rd edition. Killian has done a wonderful job working with Carlos to take us through the nuances of some of the new rules and things like that.
Yeah, some of those changes are absolutely gigantic to how the game runs. People are going to see a completely different Infinity game now.
They're definitely going to see a very tight Infinity game now, and with their new approach with very clear charts and things like that for the game. I think it's going to be a lot more straightforward for new players and stuff that's coming in.
Yeah, you're not going to have that mind-bending moment of, wait, arrow, what? Always my turn, what?
One of the things that struck me actually was in the kind of the reveal video where I got the chance to sit down with Carlos and talk to him about N3 and where they were going with it. Something really struck me, and it's been playing on my mind now for a couple of weeks since I recorded that. And N3 is all about making a game that's much more clear cut for new players. Okay, but all of it has been based on the experience of their veteran players. And he made a comment in that video, and he said, Infinity lives or dies on its veteran players. There is no better way to get into Infinity than to have a veteran player at your side. They are so committed to those veteran players. So although there's a lot of work going on in positioning of Infinity and the working with Infinity to make it a much more simple proposition for new players wanting to get in, or players that have been out for a while that want to come back. You know, they really are working on clarifying it, and the new rulebook has a lot of diagrams and stuff like that in it.
Yeah, and they did retranslate a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
to make it clearer English.
Yeah, but that commitment to making sure that veterans are looked after, because they see veterans as one of their key recruitment tools.
Yep.
They understand that none of this other stuff has as much value as it does when you have armed veterans with it to be able to go out there and teach other people. And it made me wonder, about some of the more recent decisions. Well, it's not recent. They're decisions from a couple of years ago where we started to hear that Games Workshop shops were kind of more steering clear of the veterans, and we're just focusing it more on recruitment and as recruitment centers. And it made perfect sense at the time. But they were putting an awful lot of weight on the shoulders of the store owners to be the veterans. I suppose the way they thought about it is, we have a veteran in there, in that the store operator is a veteran. But perhaps that whole thing of, saying to veterans, look, you've outgrown this bit. Go and explore the hobby in the wider sense, and formulate clubs and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe that wasn't necessarily the way to go. We'll see. In Backstage tomorrow, we're going to be talking about the rebrand. Games Workshop are undergoing a trial of becoming known as Warhammer. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow. Anyway, one of the big highlights for me this week was the battle report.
Yes.
So we have, for the longest time, people have said to
do
battle reports. And we've been gradually kind of easing into them. Like, we do demo games, and we love doing demo games. I think we do great demo games and introductions to games and stuff like that. For us, trying to find the production of a battle report, trying to find a method of making a battle report that's entertaining, educational, and is
fun,
interesting to watch. Yeah, it's because we've during the course of this whole process of trying to find our format, our way of doing battle reports, we've watched a lot of battle reports, and they're all different kinds of battle reports. Some are incredibly boring, I've got to say. Some are absolutely dire.
And then I rolled a 6, and then I rolled a 5, and then he rolled a 2, and I rolled a 6.
It's basically just two guys just rolling away. There's no dialogue or whatever. But I do understand that they're actually being competitive, and you don't want to be telling your opponent what you're about to do to them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, most of us, I suppose one of the things I'm trying to ask you as a community is, why do you watch battle reports? What was it that draws you to them? Do you want to see the full-on competitiveness and two guys that are basically keeping stum about every tactic and whatever they're going to do to try and see the outcome of it? Or are you interested in the dialogue between two players that might be two seasoned players and their thought processes?
Right, so you want to be? Do you want to be inside the head of the guys playing the game?
This is it. This is what I'm thinking. It's I know I've done some kind of battles against James Hewitt on Dead Zone, and myself and James, and what we did on Dreadball Academy. Yeah, we vocalized our thoughts. Yeah, but and things like that.
Dreadball is a very light, fun game where you can say, "Okay, here's what I'm trying. Let's do this to be awesome." Whereas say it's something like Warhammer 40k, there's more of a I'm not sure exactly how to vocalize this.
Elitist culture?
Perhaps, sometimes.
I think you're both wrong.
Okay. Fine.
I think it doesn't matter what the game is, you should always err on the side of awesome. And I could quite happily sit or stand and play any game and vocalize it exactly as I did with Dreadball. I don't think it's about the game, I think it's about the player. I think every game is set up with a framework around which you can have fun. And I think if the two players are vocalizing their thought processes and that they're both on the same page, that err on the side of awesome. Always do what it takes to be awesome, but still not stupidly untactical. You want to demonstrate interesting tactics and stuff like that. I think it'll make for much better much better gameplay videos and battle reports. I would like to think that anybody that watches a battle report that we do will come away from it going, either A, yeah, I understood that and I enjoyed that, or B, I learned a lot from that, or I learned something from that. But we want to take it a step further.
Right.
Now that we're getting into these battle reports, if you like the format, let us know. If we get a general consensus that we're going in the right direction with this format, we're going to open up our battle reports to the community.
Wait, what?
Yep. So we're gonna try and find a way to get you guys to play each other. So we're going to try and open up the studio and get grudge matches going, where we're open to invitations from you guys. If you can make it to our studios, okay?
Right.
I'm going to try and get a little form on beastsofwar.com. So if you're on YouTube, don't sit on YouTube. Come across to Beasts of War.
Click this hot link.
There'll be a link to a form where if you are available and can get to our studios, and we'll have a little map of where we're at, you can get here. You put your game of choice, and whether this is somewhere that you can get to,
right?
And then we're gonna match them up, okay?
So you and me have been arguing on the forums, right? Let's settle this on the gaming table.
You could do that if you want. You know, if you've got somebody on the forums that you've been having a bit of a barney with, you could challenge them.
So
because basically, I want to try and get a lot of interesting players coming on and doing battle reports. There will be a kind of an audition-y kind of a process, you know.
Right.
So if you're very, very reserved and you want to come on and you don't want to talk, chances are it's not going to make for a very good battle report.
So will we have a referee in the middle just if things get too heated?
Well, what we'll probably have is myself or Lloyd or you or John in there talking to the guys as well, you know,
basically the commentator in the middle.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, it's there as an option. So if you've ever fancied appearing or starring in a battle report, this could be your opportunity to do it. So
this sounds rather shady.
I think it'll be great. I think it'll be great. So, as I said, if you've enjoyed the battle report format, part 2 of the Infinity Battle goes out tomorrow, and definitely let us know. And if you're interested in showing your gaming chops for whatever game it is you like, post in that form, and we may well be in touch to set you up against a chosen opponent.
Well,
and the opponent
question.
could be one of us.
That's what I was going to ask. Can they throw down the gauntlet and challenge one of the team?
They're throwing down a gauntlet.
Yeah.
Who picks up the gauntlet? We'll have to wait and see.
Okay, this will be.
So there's no point in saying, I'm going to directly challenge Warren. I might take you up on the challenge, but I may not. I may chicken out. Or we may get somebody else to do it. Right. Last week,
yep,
we did the Weekender.
Yep.
We were all set up.
I goofed again.
I had my running order.
Yep.
Well, you didn't goof. I goofed first.
Yeah, I'm the safety net.
I had it all sitting ready to go. I had my winners picked.
Yep.
I was raring to go. And then I got so excited during the whole Weekender that I completely forgot to announce the winners that I said I was going to announce.
Yep.
So
I forgot to cut it.
Let me do that. A couple of weeks ago, we ran a whole feature about Angel Giralda's new book, his A to Z masterclass.
Yes, okay. Angel Giralda's.
Yeah.
A to Z.
Yeah, you see what he did there?
Yeah, I see what he did there.
Okay. Anyway, Angel has painted up the Sun Tzu.
Yes, it's looking beautiful.
You've seen it, haven't you?
I've seen it. He's been posting a few images on Facebook as it progressed.
I believe he's also sent us those images, so we'll bring them up. Mm-hmm. Justin, remember to put them in the video, okay?
Come on, I'm not that burnt out from Infinity Week.
I'm basically going to have to hold up instruction cards during all of this.
I thought that's what this was for.
Yeah. So he's painted it up. The winner is Leon Jong.
Congratulations, buddy.
Well done, mate. You have yourself a one-of-a-kind.
Yes, Angel Giralda's painted miniature.
Angel Giralda's special. It looks absolutely beautiful.
And if it goes on eBay, we will hunt you down.
Or buy it. Next up, last week we showed off the Battle Dog battle tank.
Yeah, from Ramshackle.
Which we thought was
cool
great.
tank.
I wasn't here to look at that, and I watched the Weekender, and I was like, they were talking about tanks without me.
I know.
I feel so rejected.
It's a lovely little tank. You know. Anyway, we had to pick a winner for it. Okay, and because I haven't picked the winner yet, we're flashing your name on screen right now.
Congratulations to this guy.
Yeah, hold up.
Okay, so this guy here, Justin, future Justin, who is editing this, put their name here.
So, am I up to date? No, I think I am. I think I've redeemed myself.
You've not missed any other birthdays or anything like that?
No, I hope not. If I do birthday announcement, I do it in Backstage. You have to pay to hear your name read out on BC4. So, Brian Hassan, if you're watching this and you're still wondering why you haven't been able to find the video where I wished you happy birthday, 43, it's in Backstage. Right. This week, tickets went on sale for Salute. The theme is Agincourt.
Right.
Where Justin says to me, well, is that like pike and shot?
I didn't know.
All right, well, look at the picture. You see knights and jousting.
Yeah,
and
I'm guessing the Perry twins are going to have an absolute blast with this.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. So, we are definitely going to be at Salute. We're talking to the guys at Salute at the moment. We've been very busy with themed weeks and stuff. So, I know a lot of you guys have volunteered to help us at Salute. We haven't forgot about you, okay? So don't think for a second we have. We haven't. We will be in touch as we start to firm up our plans over the next few weeks. But between new babies coming along soon and themed weeks and everything else that's going on.
And my mum's wedding coming up soon.
Yep.
Right, I have one important question.
Yes.
With this being medieval, do I have to walk around in a suit of armor? Because last year my back nearly went while filming. Will I have to be wearing armor this year?
It's okay. I have you sorted. I have the most beautiful assless suit of armor.
So assless chainmail chaps.
Assless chainmail chaps, Justin.
Nah.
Coming to a LARP store near you.
Yeah, it's.
I think you're in the wrong store, John.
It's going to be interesting. I don't know about walking around in armor all day. Firstly,
I have seen people do it. I've seen people do it, and they damn near die.
I don't know. Maybe by April, I might be able to fit into a suit of armor. Most of the armor that I've ever seen is not built for a man like me. It's I'd be better walking around in a barrel. So,
so you'd be Bomber.
Well, yeah. Talking of walking around in a barrel, before I get to it, go and book your tickets.
Yeah. Because
we're going to be doing some really cool stuff at Salute. So don't forget to book your tickets. On the run up to Salute, we're going to be doing a big feature on the painting competition, and we still have part 3 of the Salute coverage coming out. This is something we're going to be doing on kind of shows from now on, that we're going to go to the shows, but we'll probably spread the content of the shows out so that we still have content to show you guys on the run up to the next time the show's coming. So, talking of a suit of armor for me, I became a miniature.
Yeah, what the hell? Where's my miniature? I want my miniature.
My miniature looks like I've eaten your miniature. Anyway,
oh dear, let's have a look.
So this is me in Slaughterball.
Wait. See this body here?
Yes, I know it looks like they've taken my torso and turned it upside down. I've got to say,
it's cool.
I thought it was funny.
That's really cool.
They reached out and they said, look, we're doing a game. It's going well. We've reached out to Tom Vassell and some other guys. We'd love to have you as a miniature in the game.
Right.
And I originally said, maybe you want to pick someone else. I'm not so sure that I'm great material for a miniature. They said no, we insist. And I went,
it has to be you.
Yeah,
must be you. Can be no one else. So
they gave me these options and they said you can be this, that, or a butcher. And I thought, butcher, meat. so I picked a butcher. I sent them a picture, and they came back with this. Now I really do think they're trying to flatter me now. I did my first thing when I saw it. Andrea happened to be sitting beside me when I opened up an email, and I looked at it, and Andrea said, "That looks like you," and I went, "Yeah," and she says, "But that doesn't look like you." Yeah, I know. So Andrea was given something to have a good chocolate and beat me around the head with. She says, when are you going to the gym so as you can look like your Slaughterball character? I'm going, there ain't no gym in the world that would ever make me look like that. And then I started to look more detail at it, and I thought, Yeah, a lot of people are going to have a lot of fun with this when it comes out, and they did. On Facebook, it went up.
All right.
And first comment in, cheeky git, says, "Where's his gut?" Yeah, and I've got to say that the thought did cross my mind.
Yeah.
Somebody else said they did an excellent job of a head transplant. Yes, that's true as well. So it's a lot of good fun. So it is. However, I have apparently been reached. My stretch goal has been reached. It was all based on shares or something.
Yeah, it was a social stretch goal, which is actually something that I've not seen before.
So
on that kind of thing.
the guys behind it posted a message, and this shows the love of the team towards me. Okay. So Eric from Frog the Walk Games posted, Warren Johnston's Slaughterball butcher figure has been unlocked. Woot! See, celebratory.
Check him out here.
Check him out here. Warren, I can't wait to get this guy into your hands. You know, that's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sam then posts, I'm sure he can't wait either. I know he's dying to play with himself. What?
Sam, run and hide. He's coming for you.
Oh, he is coming for you, Sam. So, yeah, thanks for that, Sam.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's a really cool thing to have happened to you, is to be made into a miniature. Well played.
Yeah, but I've always avoided it. I've got to say the opportunity has come up before, and I have kind of avoided it. This time I thought, well, they're insisting. It's fun. I try to avoid... Right.
Personal branding?
No, it's not this. It's down to the fact that I don't believe in polluting a game's intellectual property. Okay,
that's fair enough.
So, if somebody was creating a game, okay, in a really cool sci-fi setting or a really cool fantasy setting, okay,
you don't want to just see yourself pop up in it.
It's not that. I don't really like seeing any kind of other people, real life people popping up in it, because I like a setting where I can suspend my disbelief and get into it and get involved in it. And then when you start to see these kind of real life people pop up in it, it kind of breaks that for me. So I kind of have a personal...
Oh, you see, I don't
this
really
is a
mind
sports
that.
game. It was a bit of fun. Tom Vassell was in it. I love Tom, and I thought to myself, if I had a miniature that could kick the ass of Tom Vassell, I think that'd be kind of cool. Me and Tom could maybe meet up and get a game at Gen Con next year. So,
See, I don't mind seeing real world people coming into it, because Infinity not long ago did the Tabitha Lions one, and it was a beautiful miniature.
Yeah, that's something slightly different though. That's not in the actual mainstream of the game. I don't know. Anyway, it's just I've kind of turned it down before, but this time I thought, oh, what the hell? We'll have some fun with this, and I've had some good fun. Do you want to see a sculpt?
Go on ahead.
Do you want to see a sculpt?
Yeah, go
on ahead. Let's see what we've done.
So this is me in 3D.
I think the head transplant has then moved on to a little touch of plastic surgery. That chin looks a little bit strong for you, mate.
What do you mean a little bit strong? Underneath these layers, is a chin exactly like that. Well, maybe not
there's
quite.
There's a bit of plasticine putty on there or something.
Maybe not quite exactly like
it looks really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool. I can't wait to see it. Yeah. Well, I was going to say in the flesh, but in the resin.
If this is supposed to be a Beast of War logo emblem on this, I might need you to work on that a little bit. You know, it's
no, I think that's okay.
But the accuracy of everything else is uncanny.
So let's breathe in.
Yeah, including my loss of fingers somewhere there as well. So.
Oh yeah. But you see, that's probably an extended arm for the mech suit, so your hands are inside the forearms.
Anyway, so there we have it on Slaughterball. If you haven't checked it out, it is on Kickstarter. It's definitely worth checking out. Go and check out the gameplay video, because the mechanics of this game are very, very well thought out. You know, and there is a general consensus now building that of the sports games that are out there, that this one is going to be a sleeper hit. You know, it's one guy was referring to it as the finest rule set of any sports game that's out there.
Wow, that's very high praise.
I haven't had the opportunity to play it myself, but I have been watching it, and I thought to myself, do you know what? It is a very, very well thought out game. So if you have the chance, by all means, go over and check out the Slaughterball Kickstarter. It's definitely worth checking out. So if you're into your sports games, go and try it. Okay, we're going to take a very quick break. After the break, I've got a really, really cool blog to show you. And then I'm going to talk about airbrushing. In Beasts of War, we're going to be moving to try and bring more airbrushing into the core of our coverage. We'll be right back after this. So this week, I got a really, really nice letter.
Okay.
It was an email, but I call them letters because I'm a little bit old-fashioned.
So
and I like the getting letters and things like that from the community. So if you've ever got something to say, hop on to Beasts of War. See that contact button at the top?
Yeah.
Click that and click submit a suggestion or submit a story or article. Because aside from this letter, one of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing another round of upgrades to the On the Table newsletter. Cool. I'm going to be talking about the On the Table newsletter at the end of the show. In the meantime, though, it is an amazing newsletter. It's our free e-zine that goes out weekly and gives you the absolute, ultimate, final, perfect overview of what's going on in gaming. I think it's great, by the way. Anyway, one of the things we're going to be introducing and to that e-zine is readers' letters. Okay, so if you've got something to say, and I do get them, and I get rants that are fantastic, fabulous rants. But if you've got something to say about the gaming industry, or about a game, or about anything, it could be ranty, it could be something that you're praising. If it's something you want to get off your chest and share with the community, go in there and submit it as a story or article. Who knows, at some point we might even have a submit your reader's letter. But I got a really nice one. Community member J188. Okay, he says, "Hi guys at Beasts of War. It's the first time I've talked to you direct, but I would like to put forward a member called Happy Howler. This guy has been posting on a forum post on Beasts of War for 2 years and 8 months.
Wow, that's you mean active for that long?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Maintaining a hobby thread, so maintaining a kind of a project log about his 40k orcs, and he has loads of different units and conversions, etc. I love following it, and I really think some love should come his way. What do you guys think?" J188, I couldn't agree more. So, let me pull this up so as you can see. This guy has been posting, Happy Howler has been posting now for nearly 3 years, keeping this post maintained. So he has his orc army. Now his orc army is heavily themed around destroying ultramarines.
We like the blue bits.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to that. That's rather cool. And I want to pull some of his highlights. So way back, a couple of years ago, he was starting to do these kinds of interesting conversions and things like that. And yeah, it is quite cool. But it's as he's developed, you can start to see how things have developed for him. This is a cool little conversion piece here. Mm-hmm. You can see part of the ultramarine plates have been cut up and put together. There's a lot more work in that than what it looks like at first glance. If you can look at that, there's a fair bit of plastic hard work and stuff going on in there.
You have to build that whole internal superstructure.
Mm-hmm. Now, in recent times, he's been working on the Gorkanaut and the Morkanaut, and you can really see his weathering and painting skills.
Yeah, all the little chipping and stuff,
and even the little details on the lamps and stuff like that. There, he's it's very interesting. I took some time to go through the form. It's 32 pages long now.
Wow.
And I was looking at it, and you can start to really see look at that one, okay?
Yeah.
And you can see the beginnings of where he's going, and then compare it with that.
Yeah.
And you can really see
really cool.
2 years, another 3 years worth of experience in the hobby has went into that. My personal highlight in the thing is his Stompa, which I think is absolutely fabulous. He's done a complete head replacement.
For the head?
Well, it looks to me like a battle wagon, but it also, from this angle, has almost like a Warhound Titan type
Yeah.
head. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
Yes. Wow.
It looks really angry.
It does look really angry.
It looks really predatory.
The Stomper is still one of my favorite kits of all time. Isn't that right, John?
John, you've been far too happy recently. Ba-dum.
If you haven't seen it, we did put John to work did a full painting tutorial
and build.
And did we do the build as well?
We did the build first. The build was like our second ever video.
Yeah. You started with the Stormlord.
I remember that the build was hard work. So it's but I don't know if we have the build still up there. I think it got purged, but we do, I believe, have the painting tutorials up there.
And if we don't, I'll maybe see if I can hunt it out.
Yeah, so have a look and see. But it's absolutely jam packed with bits. As kits go, the Stomper is still one of the best kits that was ever produced by Games Workshop. It just is absolutely fabulous. Anyway. This is what I love about the community that has fostered around this whole project, and it's that particular little message we got there. I thought that's quite special. That's one community member basically saying, I've had so much out of this. I want to make sure that this guy gets his due recognition for that,
and then can show even more people from people hearing about it here.
So happy Howler, well done, mate. That is absolutely fantastic.
Some epic
and
dedication.
I would like you to drop us a line, because by way of a thank you for your continued effort on Beasts of War and maintaining that, we'd like to send you a little care package of some bits and pieces that we hope you'll enjoy. So get in touch with us and let us know where we're going to send that.
Cool.
Right, on the subject of hobby, this week I have been getting to grips with airbrushing. Okay. We took the opportunity because a friend of Beasts of War, Anarchy Models, is running another Kickstarter. He ran a Kickstarter about a year ago.
Roughly, we were in Essex at the time. So
it was about this time last year, he ran a Kickstarter for his high-def stencils. Okay,
I remember we did the videos on it.
These we have videos on this, so if you hopefully we can get the links to them embedded in the post below.
I'll take care of it.
These stencils were sticky stencils that you were able to apply to a model and then airbrush over the top of them and gradually build up some of the most brilliant flame effects and stuff that I had seen. They were pretty reusable as well. So
as long as you weren't insanely rough with them.
if you took care of them, you were able to get a reasonable amount of reuse out of them. So he has a really wide range of these HD stencils now
for all different types of scales.
So whether you need stuff for your Drop Zone Commander or your Flames of War, your 40K, your Bolt Action, he has a ton of stuff there. Brian himself, the man behind Anarchy Models, is a bit of an airbrush specialist. There's lots of airbrush specialists. He happens to be one as well. He does courses and stuff like that in airbrushing, and he has a big belief in trying to get people over the fear of airbrushing, because this is one of the things that not only do I see in the community, but I've encountered myself, in that I started with, that airbrushing stuff just looks too complicated for me.
What mad sorcery is this? What black magic is this?
Yeah, how would I do that?
Yeah.
I then maybe did like what a lot of you did and bought an airbrush, and I think the first I use the word brush loosely, that I bought would have been, do you remember the Citadel thing?
The flamer one?
Yeah. Which is not really an airbrush, it's more of an air gun. It's only really suitable for base coating models. You can't really do anything with it. So I tried that. I did the blue tack around the tank and did some big-ass camo patterns and stuff with it. Generally ran into issues with it, because it was suction fed. It was like not really working very well. So I gave up on that. I then went to the stage where I bought a little cheap airbrush from, I think it was Halfords or something like that.
Yeah.
And couldn't get it to work at all.
That's the one with the little white compressor pack that's drop fed in. That they have sitting?
No. This is even before. This was another bottle fed one, and I ran it. I couldn't even get paint to come out of it.
Right.
I didn't know what I was doing, and I was fiddling with everything on it and taking it apart and putting it together. And why is this not working? And I had a really, really bad experience of airbrushing, and I think that's what happens to a lot of us. You start out where you don't want to try it, and then you maybe get to the stage where, do you know what? There's an airbrush for £10 or £20. Yeah, I'll give that a go. And you think, this is rubbish. It just doesn't work. I can't do anything with it. You maybe get what's called a single action airbrush that's either on or off, and you've no control over it, and you're going, why would anybody use one of these things? It's like, anyway. In an effort to try and help demystify all of that, we're going to be looking at producing a series which is bringing airbrushing to the core of Beasts of War. So to start doing a lot more on the airbrushing and stuff. Now, it's still very early days. I've filmed some of the first bits and pieces. So what I've filmed for Front Stage is a bunch of tutorials based on Anarchy Model's upcoming Kickstarter. Okay, so I got Brian into the studio to show me the new stencil set that he's going to apply. And this is called the High Speed stencil set. Okay, so he has the HD stencil set. So this is not a replacement for those. This is an additional stencil tool. Okay, that you could potentially use with the high definition one, or in replacement of them. And these are stencils that don't stick down, but are highly reusable. Okay, so these are stencils that you're intended to be able to reuse for the rest of your
These are really tough and strong, I'm guessing.
They're made of a fantastic material that's solvent resistant,
right.
So you can wash these in any kind of solvent and stuff like that to take all the
excess paint off.
The excess paint and stuff off. They are generally flexible, so you can put them over the curvature of a model and stuff like that. The difference between the high definition and the high speed is that the high speed give you a slightly softer edge,
right,
whereas the HD stencils give you quite
do they,
very
they
hard
still have
edge.
the sticky sides to them?
No, you don't stick them down. You just hold them in place, and this is what the high speed is. You get your model, and we've done this with a Dark Eldar model and an Eldar model, and the results are fabulous, so watch out for that. You basically just hold them in place, you hold the stencil in place, and just run over it with the airbrush. Bam.
Right.
He then shows how you can use inks and things like that over the top of it, and it just brought these models to life. He painted. If you take out all my gabbing during the videos where I'm asking him, what's he doing here, what's he doing there?
Yeah.
He painted basically the top surface of one of the Eldar flyers. Okay.
Yeah.
10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's done. I would say 20 minutes, 25 minutes, the entire model is done. Looks awesome to the point that you could probably just field it as it is, put the canopy on it, and
so that's everything but the super detailing.
Everything but the super detailing. The vast majority of the model is absolutely complete and looks stunning.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. So keep an eye on that. We're also doing a series for our backstagers where we're going to be looking in more detail at airbrushing. So I've sat Brian down and kind of forced him to give me a bit of a buyer's guide. Where I said, look, Brian, if we were prepared to spend money on an airbrush and we only wanted to buy it once, what would we go for? We have also a video of him where he takes apart an airbrush and starts to show all the different components.
Right.
We have one on how to clean an airbrush, the complete cleaning process from start to finish.
Right.
We have one where we talk about the different kinds of compressor that's available and what to watch out for in compressors, and what to look for.
Yeah.
We have a really, really good series building up. So if this goes down quite well, we have some ideas of where we hope to take this. We're reaching out to some guys in the airbrushing industry at the moment to try and see if they want to get involved in this, because I have now realized that whenever you get a good airbrush and a good setup, it's amazing what you can do with an airbrush. And I think airbrushing has the potential to completely change your hobby. To completely change your hobby.
Right, well, then, like, have you had a play with the airbrushes?
Yep, I've done it.
Oh, right.
I did the underside of one of the elder flyers.
Ah, right.
And I was able to almost exactly match what Brian was able to do.
Right.
And that was just within minutes of getting some instruction and starting to understand it. I now understand how an airbrush is supposed to work. So if you sat me down with an airbrush now, I'd be able to clean it. I'd know roughly what to do with it. I'd know how to assemble it. And I would know, most importantly, if it didn't work because the airbrush was doing something wrong, or it didn't work because I was doing something wrong.
Fair enough.
Sounds
brilliant.
That was just after sitting through the videos that you guys can sit through, both front stage and also in backstage. The highlight for me is that he's also creating in the high-speed stencils for terrain making. Okay? So this is about taking your airbrush and taking it into the terrain sphere of things. So he's got stuff for creating like paving patterns with curbs.
So what, doing road markings?
Yeah, it's all in there.
Cool.
And he's got a really cool one that I've
seen
enjoyed.
this sitting about.
Where we cover the making of this one of a Dreadball pitch. Okay, this is for Dreadball Extreme, and we cover the creation of the actual pitch itself with all the cool colors and stuff like that. And if you hold that,
okay,
we also took it a little bit further and created a little team dugouts, so the little team sin bins.
Right. So which did you create?
Well, I did bits and pieces of them. He would do them, and then I went in and did some experiments and things like that myself. Okay. So it's so we have the little team sin bins and the actual pitch itself. Yeah. So if you're interested in this, do that. Also, now is a brilliant time to mention that the reason I did this is for the Battle Zones Challenge.
Right. Where
you can create something using Battle Zones terrain from Mantic. Okay. Right. Submit it to us, and we will pick a winner, and that winner will, at the very least, win the big box of Battle Zones.
Yeah.
If you've used less than what's in the big box of Battle Zones. Yeah. And if you've used more than what's in the big box of Battle Zone,
you get exactly what you've used back.
Everything that you used, we'll ship right back to you for your to go back into your collection.
Yeah, every time you say this, I just have the image of someone who has spent their summer or however long they've been spending on it building this huge monument to Mantic's epic terrain system, it arriving in a big box after they've won and just going, I do.
Well, that competition was extended to the end of January to give us a chance to get Christmas and to spend some time over Christmas. This is the beginnings of my take on it, because I thought to myself, I'd quite like to build something for Dreadball.
So what, you're going for a full-on Dreadball stadium?
I'm going for a full-on kind of Dreadball Extreme area. So like this might be something that you'd find in one of the underhives or on a space station or a big spaceship or something. And these are designed to fit on. Just if you lift it up for me.
Okay.
Lift it up higher. Higher, Justin, you can do it.
Up.
That.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
And that's somewhere to put your minis and things.
Very cool.
So myself and Brian are going to come back to this stuff again over other videos where we're going to add more stencils and things like that to it.
Right, so more detailing
things to it. But this is part of what we've used to show off the system.
Cool.
So, if you're interested in that, stay tuned, and why not join Backstage and join us, which is on what is basically a journey into airbrushing, because I intend to get these guys all into it as well.
Well, John already uses one.
Well, I've been playing with airbrushes, but I mean, I've faced the same concerns you have with airbrushes. What do I buy? What price range am I looking at? What compressors and that? I don't take it seriously. I take it for
I mean, like, I remember you used to just use the air cans. And you always had to have a couple of them, because whenever one got too cold, it wouldn't work right. I haven't tried anything with the airbrushes, to be honest. John, you gave me one.
I had it sitting and ended up having to take it back off you because you didn't use it.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was up to, so I never laid hand to it. I never put paint to brush, as it were.
There is, having now done it, I know there is absolutely no reason why any of us shouldn't be using airbrushing in our armies, from the smallest models to the largest models, in our terrain making. It's a fabulous addition to your hobby if you can get to grips with it. Some of the equipment can be a little bit expensive to get the right kind of equipment, but we do talk in the videos about, if we just want to get it right, what do we do? Let's cut out all the options and zero in on, if we wanted to get something that was right, would work, would be confident, would continue to work. What do we go for? So there's very clear-cut guides. You might find that the suggestions are out of your budget range. You might not. But as we go on, we will maybe even start to do a kind of face-off between different airbrushes at different levels and things like that, to try and see what they can and what they can't do. It's a fabulous series. I've learned tons from it, and I'm a total convert now on airbrushing, and I'm looking forward this weekend to actually sitting down myself
and just having a play.
And having a play with some of the airbrushes that we've gathered up, to get to grips and trying to, now that I know what I'm looking for, I'll be able to see, that's a good airbrush, that's an okay airbrush, that's a rubbish airbrush, in the bin.
Justin, Christmas gift.
That's single action. That's dual action. All of this is covered in the videos. Anyway, stay tuned for that, and stay tuned for the Anarchy Models Kickstarter. And in the meantime, if you're interested in airbrushes, head on over to anarchymodels.co.uk. He has all the stencils there, but he also has airbrushes and things like that there. And Brian's an easy guy to talk to, so if you ping him, he's happy to give advice. So if you can't wait, go ahead. Right, we're going to take a quick break. After the break, we're inviting Joel Pitt from Anvil Industries to talk to us about this gorgeous new game that he's put together called Afterlife. It's going for its second Kickstarter, the Shards of Liberty. So I believe you guys have filmed even a bit of a playthrough of one of the best game mechanics I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Myself, John, and Joel have a quick chat about Breach and...
Breach and Clear!
Yes, Breach and Clear.
If you loved Rainbow Six Vegas, you're going to love this. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. So welcome back. We're joined by Joel of Anvil Industries. Joel, thank you very much for coming on to Beasts of War.
No problem at all.
So,
Great to be here.
You guys will probably know Anvil Industries because of the amazing conversion parts that they've been doing for the last few years, but you also do a really awesome line of miniatures under the Afterlife series.
Yep, that's right. It's our new game system that we've been developing for about 18 months now.
Yeah. Now, you've ran a previously successful Kickstarter. You're now halfway through a Kickstarter where you're bringing out the rules and expanding the range and stuff like that. Now we have a game.
Yes,
We're doing
a very fun game.
We can get into some meaty conversation on this. Right, before I get into the game mechanic, because there's a particular mechanic in this game that you have to know about. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about the background to Afterlife. It's a science fiction game.
That's correct. It's sort of near future sci-fi. It's set on Earth in about 200 to 300 years' time.
So it's not way off in the distance.
There aren't any aliens. There's no sort of spaceships or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's realistic, but still with plenty of space for railguns and plasma rifles.
And it's all set on Earth then,
Correct.
yeah?
So
humanity is still alone in the universe, fighting amongst ourselves.
As far as we know.
We played in a desert setting, but humanity has spiraled in terms of population, hasn't it?
That's correct. Most of the population in the Afterlife background lives in these huge hypercities, but there are large expanses outside the hypercities which are sort of largely irradiated desert areas. So this is a prime example. It could be sort of a research station or an industrial area. In a sort of what would have been a formerly prosperous sort of 21st century.
Now, one of the things that interested me about the cities was that the way you've kind of envisaged them is that right at the bottom is basically your kind of typical 21st century city, although probably a lot more grimy than what it was.
Yeah.
But as things developed, they just built over it.
Yeah, the hypercities, they're built up. You've got loads of interlocking towers, kilometres high, and the city has, it's formed layers hundreds of metres or even a kilometre thick.
Yeah.
in the highest points, and you've got multiple levels. So the sort of poorer and disadvantaged people tend to be stuck at the bottom, and the further up you go, the richer and the more corporate area is, because the world in Afterlife is run by mega corporations who sort of control everything. There are no traditional governments anymore. So the Unity Council, who are the former rulers of Earth before the events of Afterlife, are sort of made up of the largest corporations. And then you have the Republic, which is the main antagonist in the Shards of Liberty game. They are a breakaway faction of corporations and hypercities.
So that's the two main factions at the moment. So you have the Unity Corporation,
Unity Council,
and the Republic.
Yeah, the Republic have broken away. They were previously allies of the Unity Council. There was one government on Earth, and now that government has collapsed in essentially a mass civil war, and there are now multiple factions, multiple corporations, resurgent nation states, all sorts of people fighting for power, for wealth, for survival even. So in the game, players will be able to pick one of the main factions or develop their own faction, sort of choose what they fight for and sort of where they want to take their own army and force and the kind of narrative they want.
Before we talk about the fight and how it takes place, I'm actually going to talk about the models.
Of course.
Because the models are absolutely beautiful.
I think you can use one of your stunnings on this.
Stunning! I'm gonna assign a stunning to this one. I want to bring some up for you to talk us through, okay, and tell us what we're looking at. So we have these guys here now. Who are we looking at here?
These are some of the characters. One of the things we want to do with Afterlife is bring up a lot of narrative characters who play an important part in the backstory and add a lot of depth and interest to the game. The central character is Alexander Malik, and he is an Afterlife technician. So he is one of the specialists in Afterlife technology, which is basically repairing people who've suffered horrific injuries and bringing people back from the dead and extending lives. So many of the leaders and characters will have been alive for hundreds of years because they've simply refused to die. And people like this guy, he's a complete psychopath because he has no morals anymore, but he's really good at bringing people back to life and repairing ridiculous wounds. The larger character, Preacher, is essentially a sort of Frankenstein-style creation. He's sewn him together from bits of all sorts and made this creature who's ridiculously strong, incredibly fast and intelligent, and basically follows him around. He's a bodyguard type. And then he's got a couple of surgical orderlies. So if you had these guys in a game, you might be using them to sort of go in and get a body of someone who was killed in your last game, or they might be just going around patching people back up, or if they find an enemy, they do really horrible things to them in the game. Maybe inject a serum which turns them crazy and makes them attack their former comrades or something like that.
So tell me about these guys then. This is now I've painted at guys that look like this. I used them before this game came out. I was using them for my Imperial Navy insertion force for my 40k stuff, but these guys look awesome. Please tell me they're snipers because they look amazing.
It looks like a real rifle sniper.
That is a rail rifle. That will have a ridiculous range and a lot of power. You need to stay still if you want to use it, but you can punch a hole in pretty much anything with it.
A big element of this is you're building this game very much to interact with terrain. So there are opportunities to punch holes through walls and things like that.
All sorts of things. It's designed around structures and buildings and rooms and realistic room clearing, which we'll see a bit later when we cover the breach and clear mechanic.
Who's this guy?
He's a Spectre operative. So this is the Unity Council faction now. These are the elite of the elite in the Unity Council Marine Corps. So that rifle is a sort of a two-part rifle. He can unclip the front of the barrel and then it becomes a carbine, or he can attach the front and he's got a sniper rifle. So they're genetically engineered. They got some Afterlife kit in them, which makes them essentially super soldiers. They're faster. They got better reactions, better vision, better hearing, and of course they have the best military training.
What is this some kind of camouflage armor he's wearing?
I imagine it's kind of reactive armor. So if it gets hit by a bullet or shrapnel, it will absorb and reduce the impact in that.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Okay, next up. We have these guys here.
These are the Unity Guards. So these are more ceremonial. These are sort of the kind of bodyguards you might have outside the Unity Council headquarters buildings or in major corporations. They're sort of more heavy infantry. They've got a bit more decorative elements and obviously automatic shotguns. Just in case that comes in handy in a ceremony.
I can think of one or two situations where an automatic shotgun and an official ceremony could quite happily work together.
No, we're not only on infantry. There's mechs in this as well.
Many mechs. A big part of the technology in Afterlife is the idea of the exomech. So it's a suit which goes around the human and is sort of synced into their nervous system.
Yeah.
Which allows the pilot to control the mech as though it's their own body. These guys are actually they're fully robotic. There's no human inside. They're war drones. Yeah. They have artificial intelligence, but also they can be remote controlled. So you could have another figure on the board who's able to nerve sync live in the game into one of these war drones and maybe boost their stat profile or control them or fire their weapon systems at a target that the controlling player. Controlling character.
We actually have one of these here.
Yep.
So
cool.
I put it under the close camera.
So we had the 3D prints for these a couple of days ago, and this is one of the first resin miniatures. This is just a prototype.
Yeah. But the detail is absolutely razor sharp. And the posing on it is just really, really cool. It looks like it's just striding out to war. I love it.
Yeah, and there'll be 4 different poses of that model available.
We have some other models here as well. Can we show them off and tell us a little bit about them?
Absolutely. These are just some.
Yeah, well, I think, is this your current Kickstarter exclusive?
So this is Eleanor Renard. So she is sort of an up-tier heiress. She's very wealthy, very bored. Basically, she's a young lady who wants for nothing, so she's chosen a life of military service, and she's mastered every military discipline. And this is our Kickstarter exclusive miniature. She's got a couple of automatic pistols and a big sword.
Yeah, what I love about her is the body armor she's wearing, it's actually tactical body armor, no armored bikinis.
Absolutely, yeah. One of the things I want to do with Afterlife is create sensible female miniatures, because a few other games, they treat female characters in a way which is a bit strange. I mean, like, shall we say?
It looks like it would actually function in game, in the real world.
All of the miniatures I design are based around realistic function and what could actually happen.
Tell me about that bad boy.
This is one of the miniatures for our Vanguard from the last Kickstarter. I'm actually going to be doing an alternative version of this model as part of the current Kickstarter, which will have alternative weapon systems, which will have sort of designed for close assault, to have like a sort of a multi-barreled automatic shotgun, maybe a breaching tool of some description. This is the Goliath Assault Mech. It's one of the Republic units. This is it's the biggest model we've made so far, and it will be one of the heaviest units. It's incredibly survivable, and that cannon does as much damage as it looks like it would.
Yeah, I got to use this in the game that myself and John played. That thing is absolutely devastating. He had one unit of the Republic soldiers. This thing basically looked at them and went, "Oh, hi there, bye there." Dead.
Love it.
Beautiful.
I particularly like that sound effect.
Yeah, that might be the sound. You never know. It's a minigun.
And what about this bad boy here?
This is one of our customers painted these figures up and lent them to me very kindly. There's a guy called Dortist who runs a blog of fantastically painted miniatures. Yeah. And I saw them and I said, that is the exact kind of colour scheme and the exact kind of painting style that I want for the miniatures in the game. Yeah. This is an Ajax Exomech. This is available in our current retail line.
He's absolutely stunning. He kind of looks kind of Soviet.
Yes, it brings the game to life when you have a really fantastic painted miniature like this. Yeah. It really shows off.
I love it. And what's the weapon he has under his arm here?
It's a smart grenade launcher, so it's multi-barrel, and he's nerve synced into the weapon, so it fires when he thinks, and also it selects whatever round he wants. So there's 6 barrels. Each barrel has 3 munitions, so you can have potentially 6 alternative munition types.
Awesome.
And you can pick one depending on the target. So that will be reflected in the game rules. There'll be at least 2, possibly more, alternative munition rounds.
Yeah, very
cool. Let's talk about the game rules, okay? So the game rules are now coming out as during the Kickstarter for people to start to play test. You're going to be running basically a community-focused play test now for the next a few months.
We'll have living rules. We do hope to bring out a proper a physical rulebook in the future, but just so that we get a good rule set that's really tight and has all the bugs ironed out and doesn't have any problems, doesn't have any balancing issues. We'll be releasing the rules for free digitally with all the stats, all completely for free. And then we hope to release a book maybe later next year.
So you're running this living rulebook, taking feedback in, tweaking, changing, and updating.
Exactly. We want feedback from all of the players of the game. What do you like, what don't you like? Because that way we can tweak the rules and produce the best possible game before we print it in.
Well, we've had a play at it.
We had a go.
And I've got to say, I really enjoyed it. The absolute highlight for me is that you guys have focused in on this whole idea of the interaction with terrain and rooms and buildings and things like that. They've pretty much nailed the whole feel of Rainbow Six Vegas for me.
Yeah.
You have this set of rules based around breach und clear. I have to say it that way because the whole concept is that you've built this kind of a close combat type mechanic where
it feels like it's actually happening.
Your units can breach and clear into a room, okay? So you could have, there might be a unit in the room of your enemy, and you breach and clear into the room. Firefight takes place, and it's fully resolved. There's no units just sitting looking at each other.
You don't hit that meat grinder that you get in some games where it's just stood and waiting for the next round.
It's fast, it's fully resolved, and the losing party, it's as if they never actually made it into the room in the first place, and they're whittled down. They've lost a few guys.
Your unit occupies. You occupy a structure zone. You can cover the windows and doors, or you can hide within the structure. If you occupy it, if someone wants to get you out, the only way is they can either shoot from a distance, which will take all day, or they can run in. It's all around small unit tactics. It's designed around using several different units simultaneously to exercise, to just pull off different tactics, different maneuvers. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to whoever's got quick reactions and powerful weaponry, get up close and destroy your opponent. And outmaneuver them.
There's also the beautiful synergies at play as well in this, where you could have two units. And by utilizing your command points or whatever, you can have both units simultaneously breach and clear a room. And if you have all the exits covered and you win it, you can decimate the guys that are
myself,
inside.
John and Joel actually filmed a little segment on this, so if you're up for it,
let's watch it. Let's see how it plays.
So, hi guys, as you can see, we're here with Joel from Anvil Industry, and he's going to show us how to do a breach and clear in Afterlife.
That's correct.
Now, we've been playing this with you across, and we've been having a bit of fun with it. This is absolutely brutal, guys. You're going to love it. So, under the close camera, we have set up a little system for a breach and clear. So, in here, we have some troopers and a character. So, who are these guys?
Correct. We've got Elian Hesp, who's a Republic bounty hunter, and a group of Republic grenadiers, and they are currently hidden, which is what this marker indicates.
So this little marker right here. Right, so I'll play them. Who has John got?
The Unity Council. They are trying to make their way into this building to seize an objective. A unit in Afterlife will occupy a building if the majority of figures are inside, and the only way to get in is with a breach and clear mechanic. Right. Which means you basically have to run in, guns blazing, throw grenades, and try and kill everyone inside.
Okay, so John's are these little guys here down the front in the desert colour, and they're about to come in and try and knock my guys out of the building who are currently holding it. So, how do we do this? Let's say I've activated last turn. I've moved into the building. I've now occupied it, so I would have an activated counter next to myself.
Yep, if you've already activated this turn.
Yep.
So, Unity Council Marines, they have not activated, so they would declare the breach and clear action, move to within 3 inches of the door, which they already are, and then they are then moved into the building to perform the breach and clear.
So we will move into the building?
When you move up, it doesn't matter how far away you are from your opponent within the building, you're just in that space fighting for it.
So one structure zone is a defined area, and if you occupy a structure zone, no one else can come inside unless they perform this breach and clear mechanic action to clear out the enemy.
Okay.
And within the structure zone, there is no range, there's assumed line of sight, and you can attack anyone. So it's a very brutal, very up close and personal melee.
Yeah, so this is a down and dirty street fight.
Exactly.
In the far-flung future.
As close as it gets, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we have a D10 mechanic, and I assume now that they've moved in, we have to fight.
Correct. The first thing we do is we work out who has won the initiative. So one unit will have reacted a bit quicker, they'll be a bit more prepared, they might know that the enemy's there.
Okay.
And that means that they get the drop on them, they will do more damage in the ensuing firefight.
Okay.
So what we do first is we roll a reaction test.
Okay, cool. So, John, you're the guy that has came in, so I assume it's 1 dice each?
Correct. You get 1 d10, and you add the result of your d10 to your reaction value.
Okay.
You will get 2 d10 and pick the highest because you are hidden, which means the enemy does not know exactly that you're in the building.
So one of these little counters here shows that I'm hidden.
Exactly. Whereas the Marine unit is not hidden, so you will roll 2 d10 and pick the highest for your reaction test.
Okay. Well, let's quickly roll that out. John, grab a dice.
I'll grab a dice.
So I'll roll 2 here. And John, what do you get?
So with a 7, Ellie and Hesp has quite clearly won the reaction test.
Yep.
The Marines, they don't know what's inside. They run into the room and they are ambushed by the bounty hunter.
Yep.
So we're just sitting there waiting, guns up, ready to rock and roll.
Exactly, and there's going to be a lot of shooting in the next few seconds.
Okay, so let's break it down to weapon profiles. My normal Marines, I have 5 guys.
Yep, they've got a battle rifle.
Okay.
Now, a battle rifle is normally burst 1, so when you shoot, you roll 1d10.
Yep.
Because they've won the initiative, they get an extra burst, so they're going to be burst 2. Elian has got a grenade launcher, which is also burst 1. It will become burst 2.
Awesome.
Because he's a character, he gets rerolls on his hit and damage dice.
All right.
So he's more likely to.
Okay, how many of those do I get per turn?
You get 2 rerolls per turn.
Per turn, so I can use
each
that
character.
every turn and it'll refresh in the new turn. Okay,
correct,
so
yeah.
that's cool. So it's not just a once a game thing.
Yeah.
Right, so
It just gives them a bit of an edge. It gives them a bit more power. They're more likely to just achieve objectives because they're characters, they're heroes.
Okay, so I will need
10
5
dice.
Well, we don't have enough dice, so I'll have 5 white to start, and I will roll the red dice as the grenade launcher after this.
Yep.
So first 5, I have scored.
So you compare your ballistic stat plus the result of the d10 with your opponent's evasion. So in this instance, you've got 3 hits.
Okay, so what is the 2 stats? So my ballistic stat is...
That ballistic stat is how good you are at shooting, how likely you are to hit a target, and the evasion stat indicates how small a target is, how good they are at evading incoming fire. So a large mech might have a very low evasion.
I see.
Special forces operative, a very high evasion.
Okay, so it's my stat plus d10 versus your stat plus d10.
It's no, just your stat plus d10 has to equal or beat my stat.
I see.
So it's a very simple, very quick mechanic, but it varies quite a lot because you've got two statistics, between 1 and 10.
All right, so we're saying for that first set, I've got 3 hits.
Correct.
Roll again for the next 5 shots. How many here?
Yeah, another 2 hits. That's going to be 5 hits in total from your rifles.
So 5 hits in total from the rifles. I'll put those there so as not to get confused.
And then you got two grenade launcher shots with
2
Elliot.
grenade launchers with the lovely red dice. I'm not going to charge these like Warren does because I don't believe in that shenanigans.
That voodoo.
Yes, that voodoo. So we have...
That's 6 and a 9. That's definitely 2 hits. Elliot is a very good shot.
Very good.
So that's 7 against John. I assume that goes down to the weapon strength.
Yes, so a weapon will have a damage value and your opponent has a toughness value. So it's a similar mechanic. You roll a d10 plus your weapon damage and that has to equal or beat your opponent's toughness in order to inflict a wound.
Okay, so let's see what we get here. With 7 hits so far, this should be quite brutal.
Yeah, so you got damage 5.
Oh, and I actually got a 0.
Correct.
Which is a 10. And in Afterlife, at the moment, when you score a 10, you get an extra reroll.
It's called a critical damage roll, so it means that your hit has hit something very vital, very important, such as the face.
Yes.
You're more likely to do
the
more
face
damage.
is quite important. I do like keeping my face intact.
Why?
Yeah, if you get hit in the head, so you get to reroll that dice, and that gives you a chance to inflict another wound.
Okay, so we'll reroll one of the fails.
Correct. Yep.
And so how many is dead?
That's 4 wounds. That's actually all of them. They've been completely obliterated.
Oh,
However, because it's a breach and clear, you won the initiative, but you still get to shoot back. So you still get to resolve your shooting attacks.
So I have
simultaneously
4 guys. They all have the combat rifle.
They have a smart rifle, which is strength 4. It's a little bit less powerful, but you can still get a chance to do some damage.
Right. So I have
before
4
you
shots.
allocate wounds. That's correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool.
And I'm probably not going to do so good here. But...
Yeah, so you have a ballistics of 5 and the evasion of your opponents is 10. So any 5 or more will score a hit, and that's 3 hits you got
3
there.
hits. Okay.
Cool.
So I now need to roll my damage.
Yes, so it'll be strength 4 plus the d10. So that's 2 9s, that is 2 wounds.
Yep.
So now we remove the
5
dead.
is not. So you need to allocate 2 wounds to your forces, and
right.
John, you've lost all 4.
Yes.
No. Okay, so all
So
of
that was
John's
a
are
rather
dead.
bad tactical decision.
was a
on your
very
part.
bad decision.
Well, it was one of those moments of I don't want him in there. Let's get him out of there.
Exactly.
Oh
you
wait, they're
got to
waiting on
soften
me.
them up because there are more Unity Council units that are waiting to go here. So,
Yeah. Okay, so John, remove your dead.
Yeah.
So all 4 of yours are dead, gone, forgotten. Put them in the bin.
Controlling player allocates the wounds, so you now choose your 2. So you can obviously choose 2 regular Joes. Ellie and Hesp miraculously survived harm once again.
Yeah, or I could decide to put the wound onto him.
In which case, you would benefit from your character's special rule called the Hand of Fate. A named character in Afterlife, where they get wounds, there's a chance that it's a flesh wound, or they're just so hard they can just shake it off and keep going.
Yeah, so that Bruce Willis moment of,
Exactly.
you've shot me directly in the shoulder. Give me 5 minutes, I'll be fine.
Exactly, yeah. So characters, even if you kill them, there's a chance they'll get back up again because they're just heroic like that.
Yeah, I don't think I want to lose him at this point in this little
It
demonstration.
is only a 50-50 chance, so I will kill some of the grunts.
2 of the grunts, and they will go home in a body bag with no names. Right. Now we'll move on to what can happen after this, guys, which is something rather nasty. So if you want to explain this.
What happens here, if there had been survivors from your unit, they would have taken a nerve test and they would have been forced to run out of the building. They have to exit immediately. Essentially, they run in, they get shot to hell, and then they have to leave immediately.
Yeah.
They were all wiped out. So Elian continues to occupy the building.
Yes, but if John fails that nerve test by enough, he will take extra wounds on the way out. So it's them running away, and it's just me shooting him in the back, which is a lovely mechanic. Right, now, another way of doing a breach and clear, which we can actually continue on with from this little demo we've set up, is having a multiple breach.
That's correct. It's called a coordinated breach. So in Afterlife, there are something called command orders, which basically is an extra tactical option. You have a certain number of command orders per game, and you can get certain extra command orders during the game. And a command order allows you to do something which a unit wouldn't normally be able to do, such as run and fire weapons or move an extra distance. In this instance, we can use a command called Coordinated Breach, which allows you to activate 2 units. So we have the Unit Council Ajax mechs here and another unit of Marines. They can both activate at once, move to a building and, perform a coordinated breach and clear, which is where they both storm in simultaneously from 2 different entrances into the building. And this is particularly nasty for anyone trapped inside, because if they lose the firefight, they are instantly wiped out.
Because they can't escape.
Because you have no exit.
Exactly.
You have no exit, so you're killed to a man. Right, well, let's quickly run through that. So let's say John has executed that order. How would we play this?
So you've got the 2 Marine units. Marine units would move up here, and they would breach and clear into this area.
And then my max sits.
Correct. They would then move into the other end.
Well.
Yeah. So we've got quite a lot of bodies.
So
in here.
we have what is commonly known in the industry as a cluster foot. Now, I'll assume that because we had the
correct
the breach and clear last time, the hidden token will disappear because now they know there's someone in there. Someone has died in there.
Their Marines ran in. They were all wiped out. They're thinking, there's definitely something nasty in there. Let's go in together, find out what it is, and take it out.
Yeah, okay, so...
what happens now, again, we'd establish who has the initiative. Now, because Elian and the Republic Grenadiers have already fought in a breach and clear, they're tired, they've gone through loads of ammunition, they cannot win the initiative, which means...
Yes, so because we're still in essentially the same game round...
Same game turn, yep. So if it was a future game turn, then they would have a chance to get their breath back, and they could then seize the initiative.
So it means that automatically John has now won that,
correct,
and is getting the bonuses. But which unit gets it? Is it one or both?
It's both. It is both units.
Both. Ow.
And in addition to both units getting that reaction, that the firepower bonus, had you had to do a reaction roll off, you could have rolled a dice for each unit.
Right.
With a +2 bonus, and you would have had to defeat both those rolls. So if there's 2 units attacking simultaneously, then there's very little chance for someone inside to have a chance there.
It's really stacked against the person that's already in the building when you come in.
Yes.
Yeah, well, in this fashion,
So
normally
you want
it's that
that
nice
backup.
level footing.
It's important to basically cover your exits. If there's another way in, you want to have a unit here, such as this Goliath. Not lose his head. You want to have him guarding the entrance, so that you can't be attacked.
This guy here standing out the back, being the guard dog, he has a really, really nice mech. Right, so we'll now be rolling dice again. I'll do the smaller unit first because I know it's not really going to do much.
You can try. You have got a character in there. You've got
So
your 2
I've got
rerolls.
the character with his 1 grenade launcher shot this time.
Yep, that's correct.
And I have
Three grenadiers.
3 grenadiers with 1 shot apiece.
That's correct.
So I have 4 dice.
Now, before you fire, you need to choose a unit to target. So you can fire at the Ajax mechs, or you can fire at the Marines. The Marines are a softer target. But you may wish to, with Elian in particular, you may wish to try and take down the minigun Ajax because he can do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think Elian is going to specifically target the minigun Ajax.
Yep, not a problem. He is in base-to-base contact with the Ajax with the minigun, thus he can allocate wounds to that model in particular.
Yeah, the other thing is I might actually switch to his melee weapon.
Yep, that would be the...
Which would give me an extra dice to roll. But
Shock Maul. Yeah, it's burst 2. It's lower damage, but it's burst 2, so you get twice
I'm
as many
getting
attack.
a better rolling chance on it. So all of Ajax will go onto that 1 minigun mech.
Yep.
The rest... The other 3 will go on to the Marines.
Yep.
And we'll see what we get
No
with
problem
that.
at all. Let's see what happens.
So let's see what we get. Abysmal.
Yep, so that's not too bad. You got 2 hits on the mech with Elian. And that's 2 hits with the rifles.
We'll see what we get. So we'll roll to wound.
You got 2. So the rifles are damage 5. You're rolling against toughness 9, so you need 4s with the rifles against the Marines.
Okay.
And with Elian, it's strength 5. It's toughness 13 for an Ajax mech.
Oh, this is going to be a tough one. I may have
So you
goofed.
need 8s.
I may have goofed. 6.
You have goofed.
3. I've killed 1 Marine.
That's 1 Marine wound. You could use your rerolls with Elian.
I have 2 rerolls, so I may as well
reroll both and see what happens.
I got a 10.
That's a 10. Now, that's a 10, so that's 1 wound, and also it's critical damage.
Yes,
So he's
but
hit him somewhere.
I've already
it really
used this
hurts.
heroic reroll because this has now become a wound on the 10.
Exactly.
I get that reroll?
So it's not a reroll, it's an extra roll. So when
I
you do
see.
critical damage, you do the first roll. If it gets a 10, you essentially roll to wound again. You get another hit.
Okay, so we get 1 more roll.
Correct.
Come on.
And that's an 8. Yep.
So that's 2 wounds.
That'll do. That's 2
to the
wounds.
max.
Yep.
So who's
Right.
dead?
That's 1 Marine is gone.
One
and
Marine is gone.
the minigun Ajax, because you've allocated the wounds, that minigun Ajax also suffers 2 wounds.
Yes, but
And that
because
only-
we're in the breach and clear, you
It's-
still get your attack.
I still get my
Simultaneous
attacks.
firing. So those models, including the ones who are killed,
Yep.
will still get to
Still
resolve their
attack
fire.
back.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking at 4 Marines.
4 Marines, so they will get 2 shots each.
So that's
because
8 shots.
it's
PM.
8 shots with the rifles.
6,
I think it's
7, 8. I'll just roll
okay.
a whole pile of
Roll
8.
a fistful of dice at me.
That's full of dice. This is how you play it.
Just don't throw them at my head.
I'll try not to.
So that's
Well,
Not
I
done
think
too
we have
well there.
1 cocked. So if you re-roll that,
I'll
John,
roll that again.
we'll shift some stuff around.
Okay, not so good.
That's about 4 hits. Only 4 hits, I'm afraid.
Well,
But
that's
not bad.
That's 50%. That's okay.
so now you need to roll to damage. So you got damage 5.
Yep.
You've allocated against toughness 9. You need 4s.
Right.
So hopefully you get plenty of 4s.
Oh,
no.
That's apocalyptically bad.
So I know I have to rely on my max.
You need to roll 4. So the rifles have actually not done any damage.
Yep,
yeah,
But you've still got your mechs, and they've
Yep.
got plenty of firepower.
they do.
yeah.
So the
because you have the
Minigun?
minigun.
Gun is burst 3.
yep.
That's 6.
And
no, 4.
Because you get an extra one. Yeah, you get an extra one, so it burst 3 plus your bonus burst 4.
Yep.
And then with the auto carbine, the other mech has a smart grenade launcher, but that can't be used in a breach and clear. It's too
Yeah.
unwieldy. So you get 2 dice at strength 5,
Okay.
damage 5, and 3 dice at damage 5. So you may as well roll 5
Well,
altogether.
it becomes 4 because it's 3 base.
Correct,
4
yeah.
white dice.
I have 4 white dice in my hand.
6 in
fine.
total. Yep.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
so
Okay.
6 in total, and you've got ballistics of 5. Sorry, ballistics of 6. So
Yeah.
you're looking at 4s to hit.
okay.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Well,
Not bad.
there's 110 here.
Yep.
1 5.
1 has went out of the way. How many do we have here then?
That is 1 miss, so that is 5 hits. Now that 10 to hit doesn't do anything special now, but were you to have a sniper weapon, it would allow you to allocate the wound even at a long distance.
So at this point now I need to roll my damage again.
Correct.
Yeah, so
It's
come on,
damage
get them
5,
right in here,
so you
John.
need 5s again to inflict wounds.
Yep.
Uh,
And that is
that'll be
that's 3
4,
wounds.
I
Three?
think. I think
Four
it's 4.
wounds.
Yep.
Youch. Okay, so I've got 4 wounds. This
So
sucks.
we get to allocate wounds now. So we've lost a marine. We lose.
We've lost the minigun.
Ajax,
Yep.
1 remaining. 4 wounds to allocate to your squad, Justin. You've got 4 guys there, so
well,
they each have to take 1.
Each of the troopers is dead, and Alien is unfortunately on to his 6-up save.
6 up save. Can he make it?
I would say not. No.
Yeah, 8
Dead.
dead.
Yep.
Was that an
Yeah.
error? I hate when this happens, guys. I'm going to re-roll.
Do it again.
I'll do it again. A 1.
That's-
He's dead. He
he's
is
dead.
very dead.
Very dead.
So, he's dead. But, let's say if he survived. Okay?
What happens next?
Yes, what
happens
happens if he survives? Because
he has
we're a little
survived the
unsure
roll.
about that. So let's try both ways. If he's dead, he's dead. You occupy the building.
Yep.
If he survives, what happens? Because he's clearly lost by a good chunk.
In this instance, he's still dead because he can't escape. So he would have to exit the building
Right.
because he's lost the. So you establish a victor in the breach and clear action.
Yeah.
In this sense, you'd add up the number of wounds you inflict and the number of wounds you have left. So Elian has inflicted a few, but there's only 1 of him, and there's quite a few
Yeah,
opponents.
so in
so
here,
they will definitely 1.
there are still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds in here. He only has the 1.
Yes.
So he has to run away, and both ways are blocked. So it's basically Lucky Pierre in the
exactly.
middle. He's
He
dead.
just can't get out. You know. They can,
So either way, that is really, really nasty, guys.
It's
Right.
a very definitive combat system as well, because once it's been established who's had the more wounds dealt or done to them.
Absolutely.
There is a victor at the end.
There's no waiting around. You don't get a situation where two units are standing there looking at each other across the
just
room.
rumbling and using harsh words.
Yeah. It's one or the other. A unit wins or it dies.
I mean, it's one thing I don't like about some systems. Whenever you hit combat, you just seem to lock into it. You can do
And
nothing
it goes on
but
turn after turn.
just go for that meat grinder until you're dead. This, okay, I've lost. I need to bug out. I need to get my ass out of here, regroup, cool my head, and maybe come back for another try.
Yep.
Right, so I think we're going to get back to the Weekender. Guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this little look at Afterlife. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure and go and check out the Kickstarter because it is running now. There's a link in the description below. And, well, enjoy the rest of the Weekender, guys.
Well, I think that perfectly highlights my point.
That was fun. That was fun.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. That for me, it just brings the buildings to life. And you know what? What I really like about it, Joel, is that you could set up a gaming table that's basically the interior of a building.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And you could have corridors and rooms, and it will work.
Yep.
Or you could set up a desert and put down buildings. And guess what? It'll work.
Yep.
You know, because it just works very smoothly, and it does give me that whole SWAT team.
Yeah, you see, as soon as you go for that breach and clear, suddenly your focus is just straight down into that room, looking at what's going on inside it, imagining
it all happens
breaching through the doors, guns up, they're waiting on you. Oh crap, Jimmy's dead. Run.
It's a really, really cool game. If you want to get involved in the how this game develops, be sure to go and check out the Afterlife Kickstarter, Shards of Liberty. Now, before you go, a couple more things to show you. One is Justin.
Yes.
Look at this.
Yes. I saw this come out of the case this morning and just went, wait, what the hell is this cute, teeny little tank? It's amazing. It's cute, and I want 5 or 6 of them.
But it's got a minigun, and you wouldn't want to mess with it.
No, you definitely wouldn't.
It's still cute. I don't care what anyone says. It's still cute.
Do you know what I would love to do? We will find out if the game mechanics will ever allow this, but I would love to do a breach and clear, push them out the other side, and have one of these waiting at the other side to go, do the noise. I just see if you can clear them out.
That would work nicely. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
They're waiting out there, and then
he did say living rulebook. You may have just added something.
I might be able to get in. So anyway, guys, go and check out the Afterlife Kickstarter. If you're a backstager, okay, we're running a little giveaway or a contest for our backstagers. So if you'll know the score, but now, guys, if you're a backstager and a pledger on the Afterlife Kickstarter, what you can do is just fill in the form that we're going to have, and we'll have that on the XLBS show tomorrow morning. You can fill in that form, and you could be in with a chance of winning your pledge for free.
For free?
For free!
One thing to remember, guys, you have to be a pledger on the Kickstarter, and you have to be a backstager at the time of the draw. So you can't just jump into Backstage, put your form in, and then drop out of Backstage. You will have to be there at the end.
Yeah, and if you're not a pledger, if you chicken out of your pledge, unfortunately, you'll lose out as well. But definitely, I think it's worth a go. Joel, I love it. Will you stick around and do Backstage with us tomorrow? Do the XLBS? We've got a ton of stuff to talk about, guys. We're going to be talking about the game that we're giving away for Halloween.
Yes.
It's called Localized. It's very, very cool. It's going to go out in next week's Halloween newsletter, okay? So if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe to the On the Table Easing, our free weekly newsletter. It's going out. It looks hot. I'm very, very pleased with it. I'm just bringing up some kinds of shots for it, so we have our big feature things going on. We like to show you guys what's trending on the site, so we have kind of our top 5 stories that are being commented on and interacted on. We cover sci-fi in there, fantasy in there, pulp punk, horror and weird, and of course historical.
And painting and hobby.
And painting and hobby. In fact, we have a dedicated section all about painting and hobby where we pull the latest hobby articles, and we have a little thing there called Have You Tried? Now, some of the Have You Tried you might need a Backstage account for, but not all of them. Some of them are free for you to try, and that's a whole lot of painting tutorials and Hobby Lab videos and things like that. So if you're into it, definitely come over and subscribe to the On the Table e-zine, and next week there's a free game going out to every subscriber. And I've got to say, the game is really, really good. It was done as part of our Game Designer Challenge, and if you'd like to know more about it, hop on over to beastofwar.com tomorrow morning, where the XLBS, the extra long Backstage version of this show, will be playing, which is a whole extra hour.
Or more.
And we're going to be talking about it in there. So, guys, that's about it. All that's left to say is have a great week of gaming. Joel, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no problem at all, Warren. Thanks for having me on the show.
We'll see you again soon.